Okay, I just did a blooper video, but anyway, in this video, what I'm going to talk about is when you have like one of these in every crowd, one of these type of people, every crowd. Okay, well maybe I'll turn this into a video about when the whole thing of the healthy response to something, you know, when you have a healthy response to an unhealthy or an awkward situation. Maybe it's not unhealthy, but it's just awkward, and you're not really happy with it, kind of thing. Now, what is the healthy? And I mentioned in another video, if I put them in order, up in order, that you know, people who have been around people who are toxic people and just too much, they might not respond the same way as a healthy person, just someone who's healthy. I don't know anybody who's ever been, totally free, never had experience, was that sheltered, never experienced anybody who was a toxic person in their lives. I don't think that exists. They would have to be extremely sheltered to me. But anyway, some people, you know, whatever, maybe they're in denial or something, maybe they're the toxic people. But whatever is the case, you know, the healthy thing that I've heard was back in college, you know, when I was at the university, in classes. I was working on a PhD in counseling and developmental psychology, and you know what I heard in classes, it comes from that. What is the healthy response? And they wouldn't always give them, but yeah. Okay, I should have said that they wouldn't give them to every kind of situation. Not that they're saying I'm not going to give it to you, but they can't cover everything. So really, seriously, you can. But you get the gist of how things would go, how things roll. You know, what is healthy? You know, in different situations. Now, here is a new situation. Okay, other than the one I already did. So you're in a situation where you are going to, you know, go on a trip to a family or a friend. You're going to go on a trip, or they're going to go on a trip, and you're going to wind up seeing someone in all of the mix who's very toxic. Okay? Now, the other people you get along with fine. You know, and they get along with you fine. But there's this one bunch, and my experience in life is this one bunch. Not one bunch, but one person. There's always at least this one person in almost everything. And these days, it seems like it's getting worse. You know, there's more than one person who's just bad. Whatever way, they're bad. You know, they're annoying or frustrating, or the type to do this bad, this or that bad. Whatever it is, there's always seems to be one, at least. Okay, where was I? Had a whole bunch of things happen from that clip on, including trying to find the battery charger for my cell phone. Anyway, where was I? You have to see this person, okay? It's not something that you want to get out of. I mean, the whole of it, being with family or friends or whatever, just because of this one person. You know, and there will always be the one person, like I keep saying. But so you're going to go through this, and the whole thing, knowing that person does kind of ruin it, and knowing that person is going to be there, kind of brings about some, you just don't feel totally comfortable. You just don't feel totally good about the whole situation. But yeah, the other people are important, or more important than that one person being there. Now, what some would see as a healthy response in seeing that person, or knowing that the person's going to be there, is to just say, this is how life goes, kind of thing. This is how it is. Put it aside. Don't stress over it. Don't try to predict what's going to happen, but you know the past. How this goes. Don't try to, borrow trouble is what some people would call it. But just to be aware, and that's enough. Don't go too far down the line. Now, and then if it does, when you do, and that person's annoying, is to go, like a lot of people call it, gray rock, where you just don't give that person anything, any emotion, anything to fuel their fire, especially if they're this toxic type that loves to just rile everybody up and then gets attention from it, and they think negative, they probably aren't even aware that to them negative attention is just as good. It's like some would call it like what is it called? Narcissistic supply. That they're getting their supply for their narcissism, kind of thing. Anyways, some people say just go gray rock, these days. That's what they call it. Just be kind of indifferent. I personally think the best thing is to be indifferent, but that's my opinion. Yeah. Okay, now that would be the healthy response. The unhealthy response, of course, would be to really just get into it with them and let them push your buttons, and then you just explode all over the place. And yeah, they turn around on you and say that, look at you, you're this way, you're that way. That can happen too. Okay, Adam had called, so that was another interruption. But yeah, what it is that it's called crazy making. People call it crazy making. They do things that will just make you look like you're crazy in this projection, all that good stuff. So that's an unhealthy thing, is to fall for it, to fall into it. And believe me, I am well aware of how people can push your buttons, my buttons, and just, into where a person just feels like they need to explode. They're trying to, we always hear, don't keep it bottled up inside, but giving that into that person, in this way, letting out your frustration is not always that healthy. One size doesn't fit all and everything. Plus, it can be dangerous and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, they'll try that and try to get you riled up so they can get their supply, what they need to rile people up. So that's an unhealthy response. And of course, the worst thing of it is the person who's doing that, the person who's toxic. Now, those of us who've been around this kind of type, like I've been saying, we might have a more difficult time with it. It depends on where we are, having gone through some kind of recovery from this kind of thing, and we've learned a lot, we've studied a lot, heard people talk about it, and really looked inside of ourselves. We can still have a really bad time with it, and maybe not. Different shades of gray in there too. But yeah. Okay, so like I said in the other video about the other situation, we might have a response that's not totally healthy. It might feel healthy to us, but it might not be totally healthy because of all of our experiences in the past with this type of person. It could be very different than the healthy response. Yeah, and so, we know this. And another thing they can do is just their presence, and they try so hard to find the one person they think that they can really do them in. They really just come, to that person like a moth to a flame kind of thing, and because they want it. They want this supply. They want that, thrill they get off. We used to just call it thrill. They get a thrill off of it, of hurting somebody, of upsetting somebody, of making somebody frustrated, getting some kind of reaction out of somebody. It just thrills them. That's what they live for, kind of thing. And really, like a lot of people theorize, there's not one size, like I said before, that fits all. But it's their own, sometimes it's their own, like anxiety or panic. They do this as a way of pushing off that. But most, I think, people say it's basically that they don't care about themselves, and so they, it's projection. Depending on what they do, of course, it might not have anything to do with it at all. But it's their own inadequacies that they don't want to feel, all that. I just think there are some people who are just downright mean. We didn't have all these terms, which I've said before. I wish we had when I was younger, but some of them people take too far too. Okay, and I do have a reason this is on my mind, but this video is already too long, so I'll just make another one, and to go into more detail about this kind of situation. But yeah, but in this, I think a lot of people already may have in their head some kind of situation they have a similar, and they can share the story if they want to. My channel is more of a you are not alone kind of channel. It's definitely not counseling advice or anything like that. Read the disclaimer in the description box below this video on YouTube. Cut it out. Talk to y'all later.